is them either being at full attention or them being nervous. So the fact that Agro's neck like never really lowers makes me think that like Agro and Wander may not be as comfortable with each other, and Wander like stole Agro in order to go on this mission.
You know, that would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got Loki, and the best part of the cutscene.
Yes!
Or the credits.
How dare they make me learn things? I'm here for entertainment. We've been teaching you things about this speedrun the entire time. Like, and very technical things about the speedrun too. Like, this is a run that I personally love it because of the fact that you are constantly moving. You're never stuck just skipping through a bunch of dialogue or having to do a bunch of menuing. It's all just momentum going into the next fight and the next fight and the next fight, and I love that.
Any percent kind of feels a little bit, well, more than a little bit comfier than doing like a category like NTA Boss Rush or something like that, because there's that period between each of the Colossus, which it is very important to get the Agro movement correct, and you know there's strats for that and everything. But it's after you get to a certain point of playing the game, it becomes like a breath, just taking the time and you know kind of resetting. With Boss Rush, it's like one fight after another. You know, you have a few seconds before you're into the next fight.
Yeah, and for marathons especially, it can be very hard to talk through those because it feels like with NTA, you're speed running commentary.
Oh, yep.
I want to see this IGT, and then we should probably do like final telling people who we are.
Oh, yep. It's coming up right now.
Yeah. Okay. What is it? I'm ready.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, my loading screen says no. There we go.
Oh, no.
Okay, IGT is 113.39.
Okay, heck yeah,
okay.
GG.
GG. Not too bad. Not too bad. Definitely Mimi.
Definitely Mimi, but especially on Argus. Oh, that was so sad. That and Hydrus.
Yep, that and Hydrus.
Otherwise, it would have been a beautiful run because everything else you were really, really smooth on.
Yes, it was. But hey, got to race you. Heck yeah.
It's always a pleasure. And
absolutely.
Thank you so much, really, really Longathon, for having us. If you want to check out,
much.
Yeah. If you want to check out other things I do, again, hi, my name's Ruby. I am a gender fluid actor, streamer, and speedrunner. This is my primary speedrun game, but as I mentioned before, I speedrun other games as well, and I'm learning the speedruns to a bunch of games coming up. I do Let's Plays on my channel as well as speedruns, and right now, the next big thing that I'm getting ready for is speedrunning this game, but normal time attack boss rush random for SGDQ, so you can see me there as well. But that's me and generally what I do. If you want to check out my channel, please feel free. I would love to have you. But that's me.
And you can find me at twitch.tv/sunbrojade. I speedrun this game a lot. And I will continue to speedrun this game. I also speedrun Eco. I'm also learning speedruns to a bunch of other games that I'm kind of anything from like a Game Boy Advance game that I've been learning. And I think I'm doing like an Overcooked at some point with Ruby, which will be fun.
I'm obsessed with Overcooked. I've thought about doing the speedrun, and then Jade is insane enough to take it on with me, and I'm very excited.
So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm also going to be doing all platforms Tricofecta here soon, which is going to be absolutely insane. So every single platform that Shadow, Eco, and The Last Guardian is on, I'm going to be playing it.
Heck yeah. But
in a speedrun. But that's it.
That's the end of the race, yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And I don't know when we're going out, so I'm just gonna do a little dance in the meantime. There we go.
All right, thank you guys so much for that. Thank you everyone who donated, and yeah, we'll begin started shortly with the next run. But yeah, thank you guys so much. wow, we got a lot of donations while I had to take a quick nap. I've been stressed, and I'm not even sure why. But then somebody pointed out that I'd been very stressed, and then I realized that I am, and that's life. So yeah. Yeah. Mostly. 1 second. Yeah. So I'm just give me a moment. I will be able to look at everyone's donations. Because we got a lot. So I'm just gonna fire them off because we got like a bunch. So Just Dave donated $50. PB and a great cause needs a donation. $15 from OM. Here's $1 for each artist try from Nano. Enjoying the runs, keep up the good fight from Anonymous for $10. Another $10 donation. A $100 donation saying let's go Jade. Time to spend less on the ground than you do in the raid from Serial. Temporal Minute Mechanic. Crystal Crew representing an amazing cause. Good luck, have fun, friend. Stabs a bird whilst it's flapping. $25. Burger with $10 saying let's go. And then $50. Yes, more of this, please. And less dehumanizing stripping people of their basic human rights and medical rights, please. Yes, I agree. We are raising money for the ACLU. Yes, we are raising money for the ACLU. Because of the so they can fight for reproductive rights in the courts, which is pretty much the only place that they can really be feasibly fought for right now in America. And we'll begin started with Octopath Traveler in probably about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm gonna run some ads so they don't run during Octopath. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I can do my best to answer them ahead of time. I will introduce you in, but we'll be live in just a second.
Got it.
Hey everyone, thank you guys so much for waiting. We do have Octopath Traveler ready to go, and I will let Riles take it away.
All right, yeah. So I am Riles, Riles_G on Twitch, and this is Octopath Traveler. If you're not familiar with the game, there are 8 characters you can play as, and you can start with any one of them. And the category we'll be running today is Ophillia Single Story. So I'll get it going, and then I'll explain a little bit more as we go. So time will start as soon as I confirm that we're starting as Ophillia, and we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. So we're going to start right off the bat with just skipping some cutscenes. Like I said, there are 8 characters. Each one of them is kind of a clean PG class with a couple extra things. So Ophillia is basically our white mage class. So she's got like the holy damage spells and the healing things. And each character has what's called actions. And Ophilia's path action is to guide NPCs. So right there, we brought this little kid back to their mom. We told them, "Oh, I'll help you find your mom." And we're going to use that as we go, because a lot of NPCs have special abilities that are going to be helpful in fights. So I'm going to go recruit another NPC that we'll be using for our first couple boss fights. And apart from that, we're going to try to run from things. Hey, Twiz. Hey, Groucho. But Octopath is very much kind of a classic JRPG when it comes to fights and menus and all those sorts of things. But yeah, the guide gets us some really great spells. So I just popped into the tavern, and the character I just guided can do a few things. He can just do some basic attacks. Sometimes he'll tank damage for us. And what we really want him to do is use an ability called Summon Winds. That's going to be super useful for our first few boss fights. So we bought a quartz rod just to increase our damage a little bit, and now we're into our first sort of dangerous area. So our first fight is going to give us a tutorial that we're going to skip through really fast, but basically it's going to tell us how to break enemies. So every enemy is going to have a little shield with a number, and if you break an enemy, they take more damage, and also don't get to do anything. So we're going to try to break bosses as much as we can, so that way we don't get hurt. We're just going to run from battles. If you break an enemy, you're automatically allowed to flee, but sometimes it's faster to just try and flee right away. So that's what I'll be doing for the most part. But we're getting close to our first boss. And to kind of explain the strategy, most of the boss fights in Octopath are pretty close to scripted, at least for the first few turns. Then after that, you have to adapt a little bit, not a lot. But in our first boss fight, we're going to summon this tavern patron that we have following us. And we really want him to use his Summon Winds ability, because the boss is weak to wind, which means it will help us break him that much faster. And then from that point, we're going to be using our... Oh, that's not what I want to do. There we go. We're going to be using our spells, but we're going to beat them up using our battle points that you earn every turn. No, this run does not have any of the 1% or 3%. It does have a couple 30% that can be pretty pesky sometimes. But we shouldn't get stuck anywhere. So a really longathon is referring to some of the characters, their path actions have a % chance of success. The rogue characters do. And there's a couple categories where you have to like steal an item, but you only have a 3% chance to do the steal. and you can be stuck there for quite a while if you get unlucky. So battle points, you earn 1 battle point each turn, and you can either use them to increase the damage of a spell or increase the amount of attacks. And we will use them both. And this should be the end of our first boss. Yeah, each path action has a pair. There are... the characters are divided into rogues and nobles. And every rogue has a noble pair for path actions, at least. So like Ophilia's path action, she can guide someone, and it's based on level. So Ophillia has to be a high enough level to convince an NPC to follow her. Whereas the character Primrose, her path action is called Allure, and it's a % chance. So you can try to get anyone to follow you, but it's not guaranteed. And that % gets better as you level up. The 2 other characters we're going to be recruiting are Cyrus and Tressa, who are kind of the Black Mage and the Merchant classes. So we're going to get Cyrus first, and his path action is called Scrutinize, and he's a rogue character. So whenever we try to scrutinize, we're going to have a % chance of success. This is a really unfortunate encounter. There we go. But Scrutinize basically interrogates an NPC to find a hidden item somewhere on the map they're on. And we're going to use that to get soul stones, which are basically elemental stones that deal damage. And that's how we're going to deal with a lot of the bosses throughout the run. We also need Cyrus to help with encounters. So the encounter rate is based on steps. Every time we get to a screen, the game decides how many steps we can take before we get an encounter. If we walk like this, the steps go up slower, but if we run, every step is worth more. So when you run, you have a higher chance of getting encounters on a screen. The Black Mage class that Cyrus is, it's called the Scholar class in Octopath, has a passive skill called Evasive Maneuvers that makes running even with walking. So that's going to let us get through most screens without encounters. But before we can learn Evasive Maneuvers, we have to learn a couple other skills. So we're going to be taking some encounters once we recruit Cyrus to earn job points and learn some more skills. But before that, we're gonna interrogate some people. So this guard, for some reason, knew there was a soul stone just chilling in those bushes. And then we're gonna interrogate a little girl down here. Whoops. And she knew about this even bigger soul stone. I don't know why, but she does. Just buy a couple pieces of equipment. And now we're on our way to finish Cyrus's Chapter 1, which is all we're going to see of Cyrus's story. Gotta go take out an evil wizard person in a cave below the castle. And so in here, instead of running from encounters, we're going to take them. We want to try and get 20 job points before the boss. So we're going to break this guy. And then take him out with a spell. So that's that battle point method really coming in handy, letting us hit more than once and letting us beef up our spells so they deal more damage. And if we get one more of those encounters, we'll be in really good shape. There we go. I misspoke. I meant we need 10. The boss gives us 1. So this will get us up to 10 job points, which is the threshold we want to get to before the boss. This boss we're coming up on is going to be pretty similar. We're going to summon our tavern patron, hope he uses summon winds. And then there's going to be 2 additional enemies in this fight. Oh, 3rd encounter. Okay. There's going to be 2 additional enemies in this boss fight that we're going to try to deal with pretty quickly. So Cyrus is going to be using Fireball. Ophillia is going to summon. So this is Russell. He's not too scary, as long as we keep an eye on our health. Okay, we're in decent shape. And then we're going to hope for another summon wins, because that could break Russell. Not quite. So this is our first Soulstone use. And with that Soulstone, and then with the spell Cyrus is going to use, those little icy motes are going to be sent away. And we also got a Russell break on that turn, which is really nice. That's not guaranteed. That's going to speed this fight up a little bit. So since Cyrus was out of battle points, we had him throw a Soulstone to get the most damage we could. Our Tavern Patron will run away now, but we'll just summon him right back on the next turn. And now we're just gonna whack him with our staves, because since he's weak to those, it will lower his shields. So now the game is just break him as quickly as we can, which actually I don't even need to heal, because he'll break this turn. And that's going to be the Russell fight. We should take him out on this next turn with some boosted spells. There we go. So that's Russell. So now, the next thing we want to do is earn more job points to get evasive maneuvers as quickly as possible. We're going to learn a couple skills to help us deal with some encounters that we might run into. And now we just need to wrap up Cyrus's chapter with a couple more cutscenes. So once we leave Atlasdan, the city we're in, we're going to be looking for some encounters to earn, I think we need about 94 job points for Cyrus to learn a second skill, which will unlock evasive maneuvers for us. And then after that, we're going to do a little bit of exploring before we go find Tressa. So Octopath does have a fast travel system, so we're going to tag a couple cities. This is a decent encounter. Oh, that was wrong. Oh well, it'll be okay. You generally want to really pay attention to turn order. I just messed up a little bit, so this encounter's just going to take a little long. That was 17 job points. What we're really looking for is a rare enemy called a Kate. You don't see Kates very often, but they give you a lot of experience, a lot of job points, and a lot of money. So it would have been great to see one, but I don't think we're going to. They did, between me submitting for this game and today, we've actually added another category on the speedrun boards for a mod. We've made a mod that guarantees a Kate encounter, because almost every route is faster if you can get a Kate. Oh, this is like the best encounter we can get in here, actually. These things give a ton of job points. So we're going to use a medium soulstone to just wipe that out. Because otherwise, we'd have no chance. And do another quick menu. And so now we have evasive maneuvers equipped. Cake encounter? No, Kate. C-A-I-T. They're like anthropomorphous cats. It's incredibly rare and very handy. But we have just made a mod for it. So, because there's a slightly adapted route for Ophillia that requires you to get a Kate in like one of your first 4 encounters. Yes, Skiles is right. They look like cats, but finding one is as sweet as cake. But yeah, they're pretty rare encounters. We're just grabbing a couple chests for money and soulstones. Money is incredibly important to this route, which you will understand more later. The merchant class. Oh, is Metal Slime a character from another, or an enemy from another game? I don't actually know. Fast travel back. Yes, they give a lot of experience and job points. And money. Yeah, there is a mod that we've modified the encounters on a specific screen in the game to guarantee that you'll get a Kate. Oh, I remember Metal Slimes now. I haven't played Dragon Quest in a long time. But yeah, we've made a mod that guarantees that you can get a Kate in North Atlas Dam Flats. And so we made a separate board with a few different rules. You can only get 1 Kate on that screen. Otherwise, people will just grind it out. But it really speeds up some of the routes. There are a couple routes that basically require Kates to be reasonable. So it's really opened up accessibility. For a really long time, if you wanted to get one of the most competitive times for Ophillia, you were going to be resetting over and over again trying to get a Kate. But now with that mod, and yes, it's on a different leaderboard, but it becomes a little bit easier. So this is Tressa. She's our merchant. I was saying earlier, the merchant class gives us eventually an ability called hired help. So we can hire mercenaries to come deal with our problems for us. And it's one of the strongest skills in the game. But we need money. And so Tressa actually has 2 really useful abilities for us. One, every time we change screens, Tressa's just going to pick money up off the ground. If you look in the upper left corner on a screen transition, it'll say that Tressa has found money, which is incredibly handy. The other thing, her path action allows us to buy items from NPCs. So we're going to be able to buy a lot of handy items throughout the game, mostly soul stones, that we can then throw at our problems. So Octopath runs really are just throw money at your problems until they go away. But this is Tressa's Chapter 1 boss, Mick and Mac. They're pirates. And we just gave the pirates a drugged drink to make them all fall asleep. I'm fairly sure Tress is only a teenager, so it feels a little bit intense to me. But, you know, that's okay. Ophelia is also not that old, actually, now that I think about it. Cyrus is like a professor at a college. But, so for Mick and Mac, we're just going to throw soulstones at them. We have a large soulstone and a medium soulstone, and that will take them out. Sometimes you get a good turn order and they don't get to do anything. We weren't so lucky today. So now we have a couple cutscenes, and we'll be at the end of Tressa's story. And then we enter sort of the exploration part of this run. We're going to be running around, tagging cities. We're going to do a side quest that will turn in later for money. And we're also going to stop by a couple job shrines. So I've kind of alluded, this game uses a job system. Every character has a job that they start with and can be assigned a second job that they can earn skills and passive skills from. So we're going to pick up the shrines for the warrior class, and we're also going to pick up the shrine for the merchant class. So that way we can have 2 merchants in our party. One kind of nice thing is once you assign a second job to someone, they're not locked into that. You can freely trade them around. So we're going to trade them around a few times. This is our warrior shrine. So we're going to pick this one up first. We're not actually going to assign it to anyone for a while because we're not really going to be able to learn any skills until we take out some more encounters. But this is the fastest time to get it. So there's our merchant shrine. Our next stop will be our warrior shrine. Our next stop is the merchant shrine. And on our way there, we're going to save and quit because that actually resets our steps for the screen. So that saves us an encounter. Because we're really getting to the maps that if we get an encounter, we're probably dead. Now this game auto-saves for you every time you transition screens, but some of these screens are just so long that you're going to get an encounter no matter what. Unless you save and quit. And now we'll just make our way on over to the merchant shrine. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think I played this casually a long time ago before I really got into speedrunning and learning all of the little handy tricks. But then I started a casual playthrough a year or 2 ago that I absolutely cheesed my way to all of the job shrines. The world map is kind of divided up into 3 rings. There's an inner ring with all the cities where you get the 8 main characters that has pretty low level encounters. You know, it's easy to run around early game. There's the second ring that doesn't or has job shrines, but it's a little bit more dangerous. And then there's the third ring that's kind of the end game ring, and that's where things get really bad. Tavern Patron will not be with us that long, unfortunately. We're gonna interrogate this guy. Hey, that worked out. That's only a 60% chance of success, so that's nice that we got it. All right, so we're gonna transition screens here, and then we're gonna pick up a chest and actually dip back to the screen we were just on to reset our steps. While we're doing that, I'm gonna grab an extra soul stone that's not strictly necessary. But it's possible to get to the last boss without enough soul stones to beat him without some good luck. So we're going to be getting some safeties for today's run. But no, Tavern Patron will not last that long. We will be picking up a different follower for the last couple bosses. Okay, sometimes you don't quite make it to this save point. And Ophilia's Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 require us to guide some kids again to help them out with things. And so because of that, we lose our Tavern Patron. We can just kind of hop over that bush. There's some discussion that actually loses you steps and makes it more likely to get an encounter, but it's also just fun to watch your characters just kind of go wink. All right, we have one more very dangerous stop to make. We're going to Lock of the Lost King, which I've gotten an encounter in once. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. I mean, I've done this a bajillion times. But you never know, right? We just gotta make it to this chest. Alright, now we're gonna teleport out and start making our way to Ophillia Chapter 3, or Chapter 2, which is on the other side of the map. So we've got a lot of walking to do, and hopefully we won't get any encounters. If we do, we can just run from most of them. Ooh, okay. Run away. But movement in Octopath can be pretty optimized as far as trying to reduce steps. There's a runner, Zazu. Yeah, we get a lot of money. Also, Therian, the character who can steal things, is just so far out of the way for this route. And since we want to get Tressa anyway, so we can have double merchants, it's just faster to buy things. We pick up a lot of money. Anytime you see me open a red chest, that's either going to be money or it's going to be an item that's only purpose in the game is to sell. So like that old coin is just loot that I can sell for money later. But Zazu, another Octopath runner, who I think has run almost every category at this point, made a movement guide for a couple routes, including Ophillia. It's actually really handy for learning how to optimize your movement throughout. It's possible to get an encounter on this screen. I would say in my experience it happens like 50% of the time. I think the actual chance is significantly lower than that, but fingers crossed. It would happen right around here. We made it! Okay. So, this is Ophillia Chapter 2, where there is a little boy whose friends get really mad at him because he lost somebody's ring or something like that. And I don't know. To me, it seems like a pretty toxic relationship, but we help him repair it anyway. Okay. We have to scrutinize that priest monk person there. Welcome in, Raiders. I hope you're all doing well. But we had to scrutinize that person back there to make it easier to guide NPCs in this city. And that's going to come in handy much later. Now I need to scrutinize this person to make the shop better. Okay, that one a lot of the time you don't actually get, and you have to do a couple backups, but... this is Daryl. Not dead. That's good. Thank you for the good luck. I appreciate it. All the raiders, I am Riles G. This is Octopath Traveler. And we're raising money for the ACLU. Specifically in response to the Roe versus Wade stuff, so welcome in. But Daryl's our little boy who we're helping him repair his friendships, which makes us think of our childhood. I'll be honest, I don't know the plot of Ophilia's story all that well, but it was the most beginner-friendly run, so it's the one I learned. Again, this screen you can sometimes get an encounter on. We're going to get to a save point as quickly as possible and hope that doesn't happen. Alright, we're good. So we're going to do a quick save and quit again. I almost hit quit game. That would have been not good. I have a guide open just to make sure that I actually remember all of my menus and whatnot. And I forgot to scroll in it for a while, so we're going to get caught up here in a second. Tressa's story is pretty easy, but the last boss is even more RNG heavy than Ophilia's. So Ophilia's, if you pick up some safeties, you can be you can be almost guaranteed to defeat the last boss. Tressa's run, from my understanding, I haven't actually done it, but a friend of mine, Total Nonsense, learned the Tressa route. Oh, ambush. That's baloney. Okay. Well, maybe no one will die. Oh no, everyone's gonna die. That's a bad turn order. That's okay. It autosaves. But Tressa's final boss, I think, is like almost guaranteed to go poorly. From my understanding, I think Tressa's final boss is just rough. So, whereas Ophillia, we just have to hope our NPC does what we want them to. And if they don't, it can be okay sometimes. Okay, so we're gonna throw a large soulstone here to get some more job points. And then the next menu, what I do depends a little bit on how many job points everyone has. So I'm going to be quiet while I do this for a second. I actually talked to him? Okay, thank you, Zazu. That's okay. We can fix that. Okay, you have more than enough. You also have more than enough. Okay, cool. Shout out to Zazu for saving my run later. Okay, so that menu, I gave everybody some second jobs and things like that. So Cyrus now is also a warrior. He's really gonna miss on that. Okay, you know what? Let's play fast and loose here. As long as he doesn't miss any of his next attacks, we're okay. Aha! We're good. Okay. So, I also gave everyone the passive skill Endless Items, which is a merchant skill, which makes it so when you use an item in combat, there's a chance the item isn't consumed. So we want that to happen as much as possible. It only happened with Ophillia, though. And here's hired help veteran soldiers. Which is just rude. Yeah, very good timing, Zazu. I appreciate it. How much is this game? I couldn't tell you for sure. It's available on Nintendo Switch and PC. I'm playing on PC. Okay, let's go fix my error earlier. And see if we can get this. Okay, we didn't get it. So, his screen became red. Which means we need to restore our reputation to use any path actions, which costs money. And we'll go try again. You're allowed, there we go, now we got it. You're allowed 5 failures before you, in a city, before you have to restore reputation. Angel, if you're interested in speedrunning, and you want it on Switch, the digital version is known to be faster than the physical version. PC is definitely a faster run than Switch. But if you're just wanting to play it casually, I have heard some people say that the Switch is a better casual experience, just because this isn't necessarily a great port. But I have no problems with it. Okay, yeah, so it's a matter of opinion. I never had any problems with it on PC. I've played it on both. I picked it up on PC when I started to... Yeah, there's nothing nice about Switch hardware. Okay, we just went to that city for shopping and money, so... We're gonna start Ophillia Chapter 3 now. Man, I'm very glad Zazu stopped in to tell me I missed that scrutinize. We're gonna interrogate this lady for a hidden item. At this point, Cyrus is a high enough level, I think, that we just don't have to worry about anything. We're gonna turn in a side quest here. For some extra money. Oops. This is for a soul stone. And on we go. Oh, it's on Xbox Game Pass right now. That's very good. I do think it's a really great game casually. The speedruns, in my opinion, are a lot of fun. But here's just another little kid who ran away from the church, and we're going to convince him to go back to the church by following us. And then there's going to be installing right now. Yay! The community is super helpful. The Discord for the speedrun, people are always pretty quick to answer any questions that I've had. And there's some really fantastic guides. Okay, we're gonna teleport back to Saints Bridge, which is where Chapter 2 happened. Because we need to go shopping. We're using items to give people health because we are too low level to have enough health to be useful for the next couple fights. And this is Worrywart. Literally what the route that I'm using is named after. Worrywart NPC can do 3 things in combat. He can attack, he can head bash. I forgot to scrutinize the old man. Whoops, I'm talking too much. Or he can do what we want him to do, which is use Inhibit Defense, lowering the defenses of our enemies. Does he ever do that when you want him to? No. Not at all. So we're on our way to our Chapter 3 boss. This is kind of where Ophillia starts to learn that there's a evil cult doing things against the church that she's on a pilgrimage for. Wow, this isn't good. How do I deal with this one? Blizzard, Flame, Curator, Spear, Lightning Blast version. Idaho Bandit times 3. Okay, so we need to try and break this encounter. Okay. And then... I don't have all of these memorized, how I'm supposed to deal with them, so I have to reference a guide, because they don't actually happen that often. But this should break the crab. There we go. And now we can run away. So we're definitely going to want to do some money backups later. So this is Seaside Grotto. This is the location of our Chapter 3 boss. Mystery Man and Shady Figure is what they're called. And we want to get Worrywart out as quickly as possible, and we want him to use Inhibit Defenses. If he doesn't, it's okay. But we'll just have less soul stones for the final boss, and we want as many soul stones for the final boss as possible. We have gotten one endless items proc for soul stones, which means we're in okay shape. But if you don't do safeties, and you don't get endless item procs, and you don't get inhibit defense procs, then you cannot beat the game. So, okay. Make sure I don't mess this fight up. Spearhead, Mystery Man. Don't miss. Thank you. So we're gonna summon our Worrywart out right away. Hey, Cheville. Hey, we got the proc. Cool. But that does mean I need to do this, I think. No. Okay. Ophilia's gonna defend. I haven't mentioned this yet. Defending makes you go first on the next turn. And basically, we want to always break our enemies early in the turn. So, Ophilia's gonna do some hired help to break Shady Figure. And now, we're gonna throw a large soulstone, and then a hired help veterans, and this should take them out. Yeah, the art style for this game is fantastic. I am a big fan of it. So that's our Chapter 3 boss. We still got a couple cutscenes yet. I can never get that chest fast. We've got a couple cutscenes yet before we move on out of the chapter officially. And then I'm going to do a couple safety scrutinizes. So normally we would go straight from here to Noble Court, which is a city we tagged early on in our adventuring. And instead, I'm going to go visit Rippletide, where we recruited Tressa. to get an extra soul stone. Just to make sure that we can get through the last boss on our hopefully first try. Okay. So there's a soul stone. Wow, I forgot how the map works. And then I'm gonna skip her for a second because I want to make sure we get money. The two backups here are not guaranteed successes. So I wanted to make sure I could get the money scrutinized before. Okay. So we're gonna get some extra money, which I need to make up for. We had to do a couple extra hired helps, and we had to restore our reputation. And now I need to do another menu. So excuse me for just 1 second. It doesn't matter for you. You already have the appropriate skill. Okay, so what I did there was I gave Cyrus a second warrior skill to unlock a warrior passive skill, and then I switched him to merchant, where I had already taught him 2 skills earlier, hired help and donate BP. And then I went to Ophillia and taught her reflective veil, which if you've played any like Final Fantasy games or some other JRPGs that have the spell reflect, that's all it is. And then I switched her to warrior and taught her spearhead and 1,000 spears. Oh, that's a chubby Kate, which is super cool, but also I want it to run away. I don't want to kill it. Please run away, chubby Kate. Thank you. Because I don't want that experience, actually. But it does make this encounter super easier. I don't know the % chance of that, but that's actually really cool that happened in a marathon. So I talked about Kates at the very beginning of the run. Chubby Kates are the Ring 3 equivalent, and just give you a bajillion experience that we actually don't want, because I need to make sure I level up right before the final boss. Whenever you level up, you get a full heal. You get, oh, I hope I have enough money. You get a full heal, you get all your MP restored, all that sort of stuff. So I needed to not kill that chubby Kate, which would have been hard to do anyway. Kate's almost always run from you. Okay, we're good on money. So they're a pain in the butt to find or finish off. But we have a couple cutscenes, and then we're going to make our way into the Ebony Grotto, which is the final dungeon of Ophillia single story. So, hopefully, unless we get really unlucky, we're only going to run into 2 encounters in Ebony Grotto, the final boss being one of them, and there's a required fight right before the boss that if it decides it's going to kill you, there's nothing you can do about it, really. It is possible for them just to take you out, but we save right before, so it'll be fine. But that fight right before the boss is going to deal a lot of damage, but we should be a low enough level that when we beat them, we force a level up, healing all of our characters. Wow. Okay. We just have to hope we can run from this. It has too many shields to be worth trying to I spoke this into existence. Okay, there we go. I haven't used any olives of lives. Funny golem. That's what it says in the guide. It's funny, Gollum. Flee. I guess I'll just use these. And let's drop Inspiriting Plum just in case I need that. Yeah, the soundtrack for this game is amazing. The mountain region. I got an encounter. I don't need to save and quit right now. The mountain region has this incredible French horn line. I'm a music teacher, so I notice things like this, but everyone should. Okay, so we're in our last two fights. These cultists, as long as they don't decide to end our run, are fairly simple to deal with. Okay, we're in the clear. So our merchants will be able to take them out. Or break them, and then we will take them out with some soul stones. You can use 2 large soul stones here. I'm going to use 1 large and 2 medium, just to make sure that we have enough soul stones to make our life simple later. We should be fine. I think we have 4 large soul stones, which is more than enough. There we go. Alright, and now we're moving into the last fight. Time is actually after the last fight. There are 2 cutscenes, and when the bar in the bottom right finishes filling on the second cutscene, that's time. And this fight sometimes goes really quickly, and sometimes doesn't. So the goal with Matthias is basically just don't let him do anything. We need to break him as often as possible. You are already first next turn, so you know what? Let's drop an early refreshing jam. Yeah, that makes sense. So Blizzard hits twice, so that'll drop his shields to 2. And then we want to summon Worrywart. Okay, so now he's at 1, so Tressa will break him and keep him from doing anything. And then I don't need to heal, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. We want Ophillia to be first on this next turn, so we get another chance to get inhibit defense. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. Okay. That's actually almost the ideal spot for inhibit to happen. So now, if we play everything right, we will be able to use a fully charged veteran soldiers while he is broken with lowered defense. And if he has inhibit defense and he's broken, then you kill him with 4 of those. So I want you to Palm El Cyrus. Oh, I'm so worried I'm gonna mess this up somehow. You defend. You use Blizzard. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. So Ophillia will use 4 sword strikes because Ophillia is currently a warrior. And then we'll kill him on this turn, and time will be when I finish skipping the second cutscene after the fight. This feels like a really good run, actually. I'm pretty happy with this run overall. I have my life split open, but I'm hiding it. I have literally no idea what my face is. But this run went about as well as I could have hoped. So time is right now. Time. And that's Octopath Traveler Ophillia single story. I'm 8 hours in. Thanks, Shovel. Yeah, that's Octopath Traveler. The community's great. You should come hang out. There are 8 single story categories, all around an hour. So all 8 characters have a single story category. There's multiple half game categories that are all 2 to 3 hours. and there's a few different full game categories and some meme categories that are a lot of fun too. So yeah, come hang out. The community's great, but yeah, where's my life split? How was that run? 53 minutes. Okay, not terrible. But yeah, that's Octopath. The credits go for a long time, but it's just a good classic JRPG. It's a great casual game. It's a great speed run, and we would love to have anyone in the community that's interested. So, I don't got a whole lot more for you. Yeah, Dark, there's some good meme runs. There's a run called Golden Axe. There was a guide published early on after the game was released that said the Golden Axe was one of the strongest weapons in the game, and it's not. But good to send you. Yeah, I'm good. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. Stick around.